Hello, my name is Alex Lagrou. I was just appointed the interim city manager at the last city council meeting on Tuesday, October the 14th of 2025.
How did you find out about the position with the city of Hamtramck?
So before this, I worked with Meroway and Hallman attorneys at law. We were the city prosecutors. I've been there for 3 years. So I'm very familiar with all the city council members, the entirety of City Hall. It had been mentioned to me in passing. I had never expressed any particular desire to be this, but they said, would you ever be interested if the opportunity arose? And I said I would be honored, and if I was given the opportunity, I would give it everything I got. So on Tuesday, I was at home. I got the call telling me to come to City Hall. I didn't know what was going on. And they told me that it's essentially like, we need you to step in as of right now to take over. And I'm incredibly humbled by this opportunity. I'm riding a very personal, high right now. I passed the State Bar of Michigan today as well. So everything has been working out, I guess, in my favor as of right now, but that's about me right now in regards to this whole situation.
Who is the person of contact from the city of Hamtramck?
Well, I didn't have any particular person of contact. So, like I just said, I was at home. I was contacted. Mr. Hallman was actually at the meeting. He was the one who texted me. He's my boss. It's not out of the ordinary for him to text me. Luckily, that day, we had a prior formal meeting with, actually it was Dearborn Heights. So I was already dressed and ready to go. I had just gotten home, and he told me to come. So I guess technically speaking, he was my contact. Luckily, I still had a suit on and stuff like that, so I was able to come and run upstairs and talk to everybody. But I was completely surprised and shocked, quite honestly, and honored to even be considered for this, moving forward. But
how familiar are you with the terms of employment?
Very familiar. So being in the role of the assistant to the prosecutor, I work with everybody in City Hall, everybody. We would handle things from code to criminal, taxes, even just going to the building department, things of that nature. We were interfacing with everybody. So I think what I have a leg up on is I know everybody. I've been here for 4 years, kind of working in the background, doing the things that were necessary to keep that side of City Hall moving. So it wasn't something where I was being dropped in without knowing anybody, which I'm very blessed and grateful for. But at the same time, there's a lot I have to learn moving forward, and so on and so forth. But
how temporary or permanent is that position?
So I'm interim. Interim means for the moment. So we're going to put out the posting hopefully within the next week or so. Anybody is able to apply. I want to be very clear. Anyone's able to apply. I'm going to be applying myself. So this isn't something where I'm necessarily permanent. I would love the opportunity to be permanent and be here and keep doing good things for the city. I think we're moving in a very positive direction, and I want to keep that moving. But to be very clear, anyone has a shot. And whoever comes in, it's the best person and the most qualified person for that spot.
What are the responsibilities that you would assume immediately?
Well, I'm the interim city manager, so I have to do everything that a city manager is doing. So my responsibilities as of right now are managing the day-to-day activities of the city. So I get to talk to every department. I get to see what issues are coming up and looking for resolutions and trying to solve them as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
And to whom do you report to?
Well, I technically am at the top of the totem pole in the city. However, I do report to the mayor and city council. So I met with the mayor the other day. We were talking, having a great chat. And if the city council has anything that they need me to handle, anything pressing, they come and talk to me. But, I mean, for the first time in my life, I'm my own boss, technically. So, no, I'm kidding. But if we're talking about just within the city, I am technically at the top.
Whose responsibility will be to pre-qualify the new city manager and then report to the council?
It'll be HR. So HR is going to be involved with all of the hiring. I have no say. So it'll be Mashana Burton. She's excellent, very qualified. She'll be the one that's going to be getting all of the resumes, all the applications. She'll be doing all the screening interviews, as far as I'm aware. And then ultimately it'll be up to her, and I believe city council, with consent of city council, will be the appointed city manager.
So do you have any responsibilities which would which would cause you to post deposition and to give the information necessary to the HR department?
My job is just to keep things moving in the right direction. So in regards to giving HR any sort of directive in the hiring of all this, meeting with people, that's not my job. I'm interim. I'm temporary.
Did you have a chance to become familiar with the city charter?
Yes, yeah. Oh my goodness. So I'm in a unique position, right? I worked with the city attorney. So I know the city charter, unfortunately, better than I know most things in my life. So, and the nice thing about the charter is if anything is ever brought up, we can always go look it up. I'm extremely familiar with the charter. I'm extremely familiar with how the city is supposed to be run and how, the rules that are supposed to be followed.
Could you tell us a little bit about your educational background?
Of course, yeah. So I graduated from Central Michigan. That was my undergrad. I went into business, split two majors. So I was marketing and supply chain management. Marketing is exactly what it sounds like. Supply chain is just making sure that one thing gets from point A to point B. As soon as I got out of school, I worked for Quicken Loans. I was a mortgage loan underwriter. I was in the refinance department. And while I was there, I got to see that there was a lot of disparate impact with low-income people. And the biggest thing that happened is that most people weren't being told the terms of what they were signing up for or what it was that they were necessarily getting into. And from that moment on, I remember thinking to myself, well, why didn't anyone ever explain this in plain English? Because most of these long-term agreements are in, for lack of a better word, legalese, right? And so I knew that if, in order for me to affect real change, I'd have to do something more. And my friend at the time was in law school, and he was telling me about it. And the whole process of learning and problem solving was so appealing to me because I like solving complex solutions and coming to agreements with people that I was like, I have to go to law school. So I went to U of D Law. I graduated in, I think it was 2023, 2024. It's been so long. I've been wrapped up in all this, but today I just found out that I passed the Michigan bar exam. So I will be a licensed attorney. That's another thing that will be hopefully helpful moving forward. But that's my background educationally. I went to Central Michigan, and then I went to U of D Law for my Juris Doctorate in my law degree.
Have you ever held a position that would be vaguely similar to this one?
Yeah, so couple. I have many. First one, if we want to go back super far, I was the supervisor of Grosse Pointe Neff Park in high school and in college. So I was given the task of reining in a bunch of lifeguards. I also did Boy Scouts. I was the senior patrol leader for a little bit. But I was working at DTE for a internship back in 2016. I was part of the Department of Excellence, which is essentially HR for DTE. So I did all the new hire planning for 2016. I was making sure that employees were up to task on education, making sure that we were all certified. And so, yes, strangely enough, I never thought I might use those skills again, but here is a great example of things coming back full circle. I'm now in a position where I'm managing and taking care of people, making sure that things are up to snuff so that things can go accordingly and appropriately according to law.
As part of your job, are you going to be working with the city residents trying to solve the problems they would come to you with?
Of course. My biggest concern and passion, I've been here with the city prosecutors. My job was talking to not only code, but also the defendants or anybody that may have received a ticket and coming to resolutions. This city is in a unique position where we have such a diverse population of people that are coming here to make their lives better. And I've always thought that the best part of this job was helping people from all walks of life to solve whatever issue they may find. In my case, specifically with the law, you're trying to take care of legal precedents, tickets, code enforcement, but coming to a consensus where everybody feels like they're winning, they're walking away, whether it be a dismissal, whatever it has to be. It could also be as simple as like, hey, your fence is leaning. What can we do to fix your fence? That's all we need to do. But finding that solution where everybody feels like they're walking away from the table like they've won something, or that, the wool hasn't been pulled over their eyes. So, yeah, my goal moving forward is to be involved, is to not be some invisible force in the background. My policy as of right now with my position is my door is open. I've told everybody in the building and anybody that comes into the building, if you need to talk to me, by all means, come. I'm willing to listen and willing to help.
Are you going to have specific office hours?
Well, as of right, Right now, I'm kind of all over the place. So I'm there at 8 o'clock every day. I'm trying to stay there till 5. I've been pulled out recently to go do all these events. So, but I'm trying to be there from at least 8 until 4. So it's like a 9 to 5, but we're going to bump that back an hour. But I'm going to be there the minute that the building opens. I will be there and ready to answer any call, any need that the community might have.
Now, you're gonna have the responsibility of appointing a new police chief. Are you familiar with the situation of either appointing from the ranks or from outside?
Do I have the authority to appoint a police chief? I believe I do. Will I? If I do, it's going to be with all of the support and all of the information from within the PD, and also with council, with legal, to make sure that if I'm doing something, if I'm appointing anybody, I don't plan on it. But if I do, I'm going to make sure that what I do is not only compliant with the law, compliant with the charter, but moving forward, like I said, I'm interim. I'm not here forever. I'm here for a second. And what I want to do, at a bare minimum, is make sure that whoever is in my seat once they make the decision moving forward is set up for success, so that not only they can succeed, but ultimately the city can succeed.
I understand that you know the city clerk of Hamtramck. What situation did you get to know her?
So I'm very lucky. I met Rana the first day that I started working for the city. So when we came on as prosecutors, it was my responsibility, because I'm part of the prosecutorial team. I have to interface with everybody. So I was tasked with going around and meeting people. So my first day I met Rana and talked to her. And then obviously with city council meetings, my availability has been kind of wishy-washy, because I was in school and studying for the bar and then ultimately taking the bar. But I try to go to as many city council meetings as I could have at that time. Now I'm going to be there all the time. So, but yeah, I met Rana, or just at the same time as the prosecutors did. So that's. I mean, I think she's great. But
how long have you lived in the area?
So I must clarify. I don't live in the city of Hamtramck. I live in Grosse Pointe. I'm 20 minutes away. I'm right down the road. However, I have come to DCFC games. I also have come for the food. I've been to Planet Ann a couple times. So I've been at least familiar with the area for probably the last 10 years. I've been coming here. It just so happened that my social life has overlapped with my work life. But yeah, I've been at least familiar with the area for the last 10 years. And I've been I was mostly playing at that time. But now I'm working in the city. So I've been working in the city for the last almost 4 years now.
Basically, when I asked about the area, I meant the Detroit metropolitan.
Oh, geez, I'm very familiar. My dad worked downtown. I worked at the Jefferson North Assembly plant over there on Jefferson. I've worked literally at least in my law career, working with Maraway and Hallman, all over. I've been very, very blessed. Most of my friends that went to law school worked in these big corporate firms where they were just kind of pushing files. I was given a boots on the ground experience. So anytime that we went to Wayne County, or we would go to, it was even Taylor. I was out in Taylor one time in the Taylor courthouse. So I mean, the whole Metro Detroit area I'm very familiar with. Born and bred here. I work here. I play here, and I love here. To be honest with you, I don't plan on going anywhere, ever.
How well do you know the Hamtramck community, which is much different than the rest of the Detroit or the suburbs?
Yeah, it's very different. I am still learning. My experience with the Hamtramck community is that no matter who it is that I interface with, they're great people. The main thing that people get lost on is, there's a stigma where it might be an immigrant city. But listen, everybody here wants the exact same thing. They want a roof over their head. They want a great school that they can go to. They want a safe city where their families can grow and live. And that's something that really resides with me. So, do I know everything about everyone? I don't. But I'm in a unique position where, for once, I can come in and learn and meet people and interface with people, and at a bare minimum, create an open channel of dialogue between the residents and city, essentially.
when a new city manager is hired, and assuming that it might be someone different than you, what will happen to you at that point? What will you be doing?
Well, I don't know. Like I just said, I just passed the bar. So as of right now, I'm going to do everything that I can to leave a good enough impression. I was blessed with this opportunity. I plan to fully repay that back. But what will happen to me is if I'm not hired, which is very possible, I just passed the bar. I'll have my bar license, so I can go and be an attorney. I've got a great firm. I've got 2 great guys who have supported me through thick and thin, who have given me everything. I owe everything to the opportunities that I've been presented with. And whatever happens, I will fully repay. To be completely frank, I'll repay God for the great things that have happened to me. But I could go back, I could stay here, but whatever happens, happens.
Do you have an idea how long it might take to complete that process of hiring a city manager?
I don't know. There's not a tentative deadline. This is a very sensitive, it's an important position. So if it takes a couple months, it might take a couple months. You know, I want to make sure that, like I said, I've been given an opportunity where I'm here, and whoever it is, it could be me, it could be somebody else, but I want to make sure that it's done right, and that if they do come in, it's done, they have the best possible chance of moving forward and keeping progress moving in the way it is. So it could take however long, but I support HR and HR's decision to make sure that it's done the right way.
And the last question is, why did you decide to accept the position as an interim manager?
Well, why did I decide it? Listen, I decided to accept this position because, first of all, I think that this is a blessing and an opportunity. This community, I said this during the city council meeting, this community has been the most fundamental community to my development as a young professional. I owe everything that I have right now to this city. So when they said, would you be interested? I said I'd be honored. And when I was told, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. For me to walk away from this city when it's given me a shot, and I mean that, I'll be completely transparent, I didn't know if law was the right thing for me. I really didn't. And when I got the job, and I started working, and we were gifted with this opportunity, I really saw what it was about. And it resonated with me in a way where I was thinking back about when I was working at Quicken Loans, and I had to tell people that, you know, in some situations they had to sell their house because of the fact that people hadn't explained certain terms or conditions. So coming here and being able to give back to the community where for once I was in the driver's seat and I could tell people, hey, look, like, here's what's going on. Here's what your options are. Here's what you can do. And here's how you can get out of any sort of situation you might be in. These are your options. Explaining it in plain English. For me to not give back to that thing that drove me to go to law school, that drove me to be better, would be ludicrous. It would be ludicrous. So it was a no-brainer for me personally. And I hope I've been given this shot and this chance to do good. And that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do.
And just to follow up on the lighter side, I understand that it's been 2 or 3 days that you've been engaged with the city interim manager. Did you have some problems setting up?
Well, getting your email set up is always tough. But other than that, no. Like I said, I knew everybody coming into it. I'm already familiar with everyone. So yeah, the technology is kind of hard. You know, getting used to logging into your computer and the email is kind of a pain in the butt every once in a while. But, you know, everything, I already knew everybody. So it was just like, hey, go check on someone, go downstairs and talk to tax. Go downstairs. I'd go talk to Pam. Oh, something's happening in the DPW or something's happening in code. I go downstairs, I talk to Anthony Biss. What's going on with this? I just go ask Rana. I'm like, Rana, what's happening? It's like, or PD. I know most of the officers, if not all of them. So for me, it's the most important thing is that everybody there has been so gracious and so patient with me. And I've told people, I said, I've never done this before. I'm gonna need your help. And everybody with open arms has been patient. They've been willing to listen when I have questions. So again, like I said, this whole situation, I've been so blessed where there's enough foundation there where I can actually do some good and give back to the city in a way that's positive. And hopefully with my time here, at least moving forward, do the best that I can, because the city deserves it. With everything that's happened, with all the turmoil, just to be some stability for however long is all I want to be. That's it.
Well, congratulations on your
Thank you.
appointment, on your passing the bar exam.
Thank you. Yeah, that I'm thrilled about.
And the best wishes for your career in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.